Welcome to another Friday 5. Today I'm going to go over 5 moments in history that were caught on camera. Before I get started, I'd just like to say if at any moment you think, hey, I like this video, or this chick is kind of cool, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you feel like it, if you feel that urge, don't fight it, just go with it and join my community. I would love to see you come on aboard. And with that, let's get into number 1. Number 1 on this list is a photo from the 1970s of Vietnam veterans protesting against the war. And what's interesting about this photo that I didn't know before seeing this photo is that there was an organization called Vietnam Veterans Against the War that started in June 1967 that would do protests like this. It was started in New York by 6 veterans, and that to me kind of gives this protest a whole nother level of impactfulness because these people experienced the war firsthand and were standing up against it. And what I also really love about this photo is that the sign that they're holding says, "We will not fight another rich man's war," which kind of shows you how they felt in all of this. Number 2 on this list is the first underwater photo ever taken, and it was taken in the south of France in the 1890s. I found one source that said 1893 and another source that said 1899. So I think the safe bet is just to say the 1890s and roll with it. So 1890s, Louis Boutin took this photo of Emil Rakovica, and it was the first photo in which the photographer and the subject were both underwater. And in the photo, Emil's holding up a sign that says underwater photography in French. And what's interesting about this photo, not only is it the first of its kind, but Emil was an oceanographer and biologist, and Louis was also a zoologist. And the reason why he pioneered underwater photography is he was studying mollusks, which are underwater snails, and he wanted to capture them in their natural environment. So essentially, the inspiration behind underwater photography are a bunch of sea snails, which I think is kind of hilarious and such an interesting story that I had no idea about before seeing this photo. And just to think of how far underwater photography has come, thank God for little sea snails. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 on this list might bring you down a little bit. It's way more serious and kind of political, but when I read about it, it taught me something, so that's why it's on this list. And it is a photo of Ethel comforting her dying husband as he lay mortally wounded on the kitchen floor of the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, and her husband is Robert F. Kennedy. So, for those of you who didn't know this, I didn't know this, I'm sad to admit, but Robert F. Kennedy was John F. Kennedy's younger brother, and he was assassinated on June 5th, 1968, as he was running for president of the Democratic Party. This was 5 years after his brother had been assassinated. He was kind of expected to win, and just this moment is such a crazy moment in history to me because it's what could have been moment. Not only what could have been if his brother hadn't been assassinated, but what could have been if Robert F. Kennedy had not been assassinated and followed in his brother's footsteps and won president. So this moment in history captured like this is kind of crazy. I also watched the video of his assassination. It doesn't show him actually getting shot, but it showed his speech and then the crowd not knowing what was going on as he went into the back where his assassin was waiting for him. You could hear the gunshots going off and the crowd coming to realize what happened, and it's kind of crazy. So let's move on though to number 4. Number 4 on this list was taken on September 15th, 1954, and it is a photo of the behind the scenes of Marilyn Monroe's iconic dress blowing up over the subway photo. And I had never seen the behind the scenes version of this moment, and seeing this photo really gave me Instagram versus reality vibes, because you can see all the chaos that was actually going on in this moment. And I thought that was really interesting because you don't really see that from back then. You know, you only see the setup photo, but not really the setup of the setup photo. And this moment, I didn't know personally, was taken on the set of a movie called 7 Year Itch. And I guess during this scene, there was a crowd of 2,000 to 5,000 people just watching Marilyn Monroe do this take over and over again. And I guess 100 or so male photographers gathered around trying to capture her as her dress was going up, which is kind of, I don't know how I feel about that, but it's interesting to see the behind the scenes regardless. And I thought it was a cool perspective of a very famous photo. Number 5 on this list is a photo that was taken in 1964. There's not much to say about it. It's very simple, but it put a smile on my face, so that's why I saw on this list, and that's why I wanted it to end this list. And it is a photo of Frank Sinatra getting off of a helicopter with a drink in his hand. And I love that he has a huge smile on his face. He's dressed all dapper and whatnot. And personally, I really love Frank Sinatra's music, so seeing him captured in this moment just brings a smile to my face. Maybe there's some other Frank Sinatra fans out there who will also appreciate this photo. And with that, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you would like a round 2 of this, because there's a lot of moments in history captured on camera, let me know in the comments down below and maybe I'll deliver. Until next time, bye.